several kinds of animals, starting with the giraffe. Do giraffes have short necks?
Do giraffe have short necks?
No, they don't. Giraffes don't have short necks.
No, they don't. Giraffes don't have a short neck.
Do giraffes have long necks?
Do giraffes have a long necks?
Yes, that's correct. Giraffes have long necks.
Yes, that's correct. Giraffes have a long necks.
Do they have wings?
Do they have wings?
No, they don't have wings.
No, they don't have a wing.
Does a giraffe have 6 legs?
Does the giraffe have 6 legs?
No, a giraffe doesn't have 6 legs.
No, a giraffe doesn't have a six legs.
Does a giraffe have 3 legs?
Does the giraffe have 3 legs?
No, that's ridiculous. A giraffe doesn't have 3 legs.
No, that's ridiculous. A giraffe doesn't have 3 legs.
How many legs does a giraffe have?
How many legs does the giraffe have?
4. A giraffe has 4 legs.
4. A giraffe have 4 legs. 4. A giraffe has 4 legs.
Does the bird have 4 legs?
Does the bird have 4 legs?
No, a bird doesn't have 4 legs.
No, a bird doesn't have 4 legs.
No, a bird doesn't have 4 legs. How many legs does the bird have?
How many legs does the bird have?
A bird has 2 legs.
A bird have 2 legs. A bird has 2 legs.
Do birds have wings?
Do birds have wings? Do birds have wings?
Yes, birds have wings. How many?
Yes, birds have wings. Yes, birds have wings.
How many wings does the bird have?
A bird has 2 wings.
A bird has 2 wings. Do lions eat vegetables?
No, they don't. Lions
Lions
eat
don't eat vegetables.
vegetable.
Do they eat food?
No, they don't eat food either.
No, they don't eat food either. What do they eat?
They eat meat.
They eat meat.
They eat meat.
Do they eat fruit or vegetables?
No, they don't eat fruit or vegetable?
No, they don't eat fruit or vegetables. What do they eat?
They eat meat.
They eat meat. Alright, enough with the questions about animals. Now, I'm going to ask questions about two people named Matt and Jean. Are Matt and Jean musicians?
No, Matt and Jane
No,
are
Matt and Jean are definitely not
musicians.
musicians. We know that because of the clothes that they wear.
No, Matt and Jane are definitely not musicians. We know that because of the clothes that they were wearing.
Wearing. Are they taxi drivers?
No, they aren't taxi drivers.
No, they aren't taxi drivers. What are they?
No, they aren't taxi drivers.
Well, they're doctors.
What are they? Well, they're doctors.
Does Matt know Jean?
Yes, Matt knows
Yes,
Jane.
Matt knows Jean. Do Matt and Jean work in different hospitals?
No, do Matt and Jane work in different hospitals?
No, that's not true. Matt and Jean don't work in different hospitals.
No, that's not true. Matt and Jane don't work in the different hospitals.
Do they work in the same hospital?
Yes, they work in the same place.
Yes, they work in the same hospital. Does Matt know who Jane is?
Yes, Matt knows who Jane is.
Yes, that's correct. Matt knows who Jane is. Does Jane know?
Does Matt know who Jane is? Yes, that's correct. Matt knows who Jane is.
Matt as well? Yes, that's correct. Matt knows who Jane is. Does Jane know Matt as well?
Yes, Jane knows that Matt as well. Does Jane know Matt as well? Yes, Jane knows Matt as well.
Yes, Jane knows Matt as well.
Yes, Jane knows
Do
that
Matt and Jane
Matt
work
as well.
in the same place? Jane is. Does Jane know Matt as well? Yes, Jane knows Matt as well. Do Mark and Jane work in the same place?
Yes, Matt and Jane work in the same place.
Yes, Matt and Jane work in the same place. Do they know each other?
Yes, they know each other.
Yes, they know each other. According to Jane, is Matt a terrible doctor?
According to Jane, is Matt a terrible doctor? Is Matt a terrible doctor?
No, he's not. According to Jane, Matt isn't a terrible doctor.
No, he's not. According to Jane, Matt isn't a terrible doctor.
According to Jane, is Matt a great doctor?
According to Jane, is Matt a great doctor?
Yes, that's correct. According to Jane, Matt is a great doctor.
Yes, that's correct. To according to Jane, Matt is a great doctor.
No, Jane doesn't consider Matt a terrible doctor. Does Jane consider Matt a terrible doctor?
No, Jane doesn't consider Matt is a terrible doctor.
No, Jane doesn't consider Matt a terrible doctor. Does Jane consider Matt a great doctor?
Yes, he considers Matt a great doctor.
Yes, that's right. Jane considers Matt a great doctor.
Yes, that's right. Jane considers Matt a great doctor.
Okay, now we're going to also talk about another doctor named Andrew. Does Matt know Andrew?
Does Matt know Andrew? Does Matt know Andrew?
No, Jane doesn't know Andrew either. Now we're going to also talk about another doctor named Andrew. Does Matt know Andrew?
Does Matt know Andrew?
No, Matt doesn't know Andrew.
No, Matt doesn't know Andrew.
Does Matt know who Andrew is?
Does Matt know who Andrew is?
No, Matt doesn't know who Andrew is.
No, Matt doesn't know who Andrew is.
What about Jane? Does Jane know Andrew?
What about Jane? Does Jane know Andrew?
No, Jane doesn't know Andrew either.
No, Jane doesn't know Andrew either.
Do Jane and Andrew know each other? No, Jane doesn't know Andrew either. Do Jane and Andrew know each other?
Do Jane and Andrew know each other?
No, Jane and Andrew don't know each other. That's just
No, Jane and Andrew don't know each other.
No, Matt doesn't know Andrew. Does Matt know who Andrew is? No, Jane doesn't know Andrew either. Do Jane and Andrew know each other?
No, Jane and Andrew
No,
don't know
Jane
each
and Andrew
other.
don't know each other. Do Matt and Andrew know each other?
No, yes, Matt and
No,
Jane
Matt and
know
Andrew
each
don't know
other.
each other. Do Matt and Jane know each other?
Yes, Matt and Jane
Yes,
know
Matt
each
and
other.
Jane know each other. They work in the same hospital after all. Do Matt and Jane work more than 5 days a week?
No. Do Matt and Jane work more than five days a week?
Consider Matt a great doctor? What about Jane? Does Jane know Andrew? Do Matt and Andrew know each other? Matt and Jane work more than 5. Yes, Matt and Jane know each other. They work in the same hospital after all.
Yes, Matt and Jane work in the same hospital. They work.
Do Matt and Jane know each other?
Yes, Matt and Jane know
Yes,
each other.
Matt and Jane know each other. They work in the same hospital after all.
They work in the same hospital. After all.
Do Matt and Jane work more than 5 days a week? Do they?
Do Matt and Jane work more than five days a week?
Other. Do Matt and Andrew know each other? Know each other? Yes, Matt and Jane know each other. They work in the same hospital after all. Do Matt and Jane work more than 5 days a week?
Do Matt and Jane work more than five days a week?
Yes, they work more than 5 days a week.
Yes, they work more than five days a week.
Do they work 7 days a week?
Do they work 7 days a week?
No, they don't work 7 days a week. They don't actually work that.
No, they don't. No, they don't actually work. No, they don't actually work that much. No, they don't work 7 days a week. They don't actually work that much.
That much. How many days a week do they work?
They work 6 days a week.
They work 6 days a week. Do they work on Mondays?
Yes, they work on Mondays.
Yes, they work on Mondays. Do they work on Saturdays?
Yes, they work on Saturday.
Yes, they work on Saturdays. Do they work on Sundays?
No, they don't work on Sunday.
No, they don't work on Sundays. Do they work every day?
No, they don't work every day.
No, they don't work every day. What day of the week don't they work?
They don't work on Sundays.
They don't work on Sundays.